captives versus bondage. A is the justification by faith, the doctrinal statement, chapter 2, verses 15 through 21. B is the justification by faith, the experience of Galatians chapter 3, verses 1 through 5. C is the justification by faith, the illustration of Abraham, chapter 3, verses 6 through chapter 4, verse 18. And D, the justification by faith, the allegory of Hagar and Sarai, chapter 5 or 4, verse 19 through 31. Roman numeral 4 is the practice, the sanctification by the Spirit. That's chapter 5, verse 1 through chapter 6, verse 10. This is spirit versus flesh, liberty versus bondage. Part A is saved by faith, and living by law perpetrates falling from grace. Chapters 5, verse 1 through 15. B, saved by faith and walking in the Spirit produces fruits of the Spirit. Chapter 5, verse 16 through 26. C, saved by faith and fruit of the Spirit presents Christian character. Chapter 6, verse 1 through 10. Roman numeral 4 is the autographed conclusion. That's chapter 6, verse 11 through 18. A, Paul's own handwriting is chapter 6, verse 11. B is Paul's own testimony, is chapter 6, verse 12 through 18. The cross of Christ, number 1, is the cross of Christ versus circumcision, chapter 6, verse 12 through 15. And 2, Christ's handwriting on Paul's body, chapter 6, verse 16 through 18, the new circumcision of the new creation. And that ends that section. Now we will move on to chapter 1's introduction. We've looked at the introduction for the book of Galatians. This is chapter 1's introduction. The theme for chapter 1 is the salutation, cool greetings. The subject stated, the warm declaration, and Paul's experience in Arabia. Galatians is God's polemic against legalism and of every and any description. The Mosaic law is neither discredited, despised, nor disregarded. Its majestic perfection demands fullness and purpose are maintained. Yet these very qualities make it utterly impossible for man to come this route to God. Another way is opened for man to be justified before God, a way which entirely bypasses the Mosaic law. The new route is by faith. Justification by faith is the theme, with the emphasis on faith. 3 epistles in the New Testament quote Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. The just shall live by his faith. Romans chapter 1 and verse 17 emphasizes the just. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 38 emphasizes shall live. And Galatians chapter 3 and verse 11 emphasizes by faith. In Romans, the emphasis is upon the fact that man, apart from the Mosaic law, is justified before God by faith. In Galatians, Paul is defending the gospel from those who would add law to the justification by faith. Faith plus law was the thrust of Judaism. Faith plus nothing was the answer of Paul. Judaizers questioned Paul's authority as an apostle and his teaching that simple faith was adequate for salvation. See, that's what they do, is they attack the preacher and not the message whenever they want to really attack the message. So don't take it personally if you're a preacher preaching the truth. Paul defends his apostleship and demonstrates the efficiency of the gospel of